Alinub's next opponent here is HIRAMAX. HIRAMAX has been a opponent several times here, so hopefully he's able to take something out. And whoa, he's running a Kel'Thuzad rogue deck, so this is going to be quite interesting. Alinub is our current tree topper with 1 win streak, and we need to fix the win total, so just hold on, or the health total. He had a health total of 57, nice. And HIRAMAX is a Japanese player. Currently we have 4 Japanese players in the final 20 of this tournament, so hopefully HIRAMAX can join them as the 5th. And this is going to be a really fun game. We see Prince Gallywix along with Kel'Thuzad, so maybe this is a heavy minion based kind of gig from HIRAMAX. This should be a lot of fun. Nice slow start, weapon up, standard. And he doesn't really have anything to do on turn 3. Ooh, Kel'Thuzad for both players, wow. And we also note that this Shaman deck from Alinub is running like Reincarnate and the Death Rattle effect, so this is going to be a very interesting game. Naked SI7 agent coming down, and will he just go for, okay, wow, he's going to go for Rock Biter, kill the SI7 agent, get this nice 4/4 out, and go for face with a totem at his back. And actually in his front, yeah. There's Kel'Thuzad's. Okay, so here we go. This is gonna be quite interesting.
Pay attention, class.
Violet Teacher coming out, and it may just die, but it will do some serious damage to the board if it does. Yeah, sadly Violet Teacher gets taken out. Now HIRAMAX.
That was a mistake.
Yeah, I think that Alinub said that was a mistake because he placed the Sonic Creeper on the right. I think he probably should place it on the left, considering his dude that's gonna die is on the left, and yeah. Now he doesn't have anything left on that side. And if his spiders would have died, they would have just summoned other spiders to get buffed, so not a big deal, but yet he realizes that that was a mistake. And we can tell that, not a big deal. Now, let's see. Just Harvest Golem Egg, or maybe just Harvest Golem Totem, considering you're way far ahead, and you don't really want to overcommit into a Blade Flurry. Yeah, okay, so he just goes with an Egg Totem, so kind of hedging his bets against any Blade Flurries, but looks like HIRAMAX is running this crazy minion-based rogue deck with Prince Gallywix, Kel'Thuzad, and Van Cleave's not really crazy in a rogue deck, but it's one of those cards that you may not really see in a standard oil rogue.
So many options.
HIRAMAX trying to figure this out. He doesn't have any solid plays, but it looks like he's just gonna throw down the Thanos as kind of a cycle. He has zero buff potential in his hand, so it looks like Van Cleave will just come out as a 4/4. Probably safe, considering Alinub's probably running some Earth Shocks, maybe some Hexes. Excuse me. Well, some nice trash minions on the field to allow Alinub to trade into the Van Cleave that was summoned. And is summoning some more trash minions, so this Flame Tongue Totem is doing a lot of work right now. Okay, fine, let me see a backstab, but that's not as useful as it would have been if the Thanos would have stayed alive, or would have been held in the hand. But he's gonna go ahead and kill the totem. Not a big deal to use a hero power on it. Ooh, there's the reincarnate. And that is best used on Death Rattle minions to get the Death Rattle effect and then summon the minion just right back up. Sludge Belcher is taken care of easily enough. Now we do have the prep stat for HIRAMAX, so hopefully he goes for that and gets some nice answers to deal with this board. Hopefully maybe like a Bloody Flurry. So you can go with a naked sprint? I would probably... I think prep sprinting is safer, right? You get the full use out of the prep and it's saving you 3 mana. Ooh, and we get a Phantom Knives and an Abyss. So he could prep Phantom Knives and then the Abyss, the fire elements down. I think that would be a solid play. Yeah, you get the Nerubian Egg token out, but not much else you can do about that. A sap is gonna come down. Okay. So, looks like we're gonna see that play, but he's not gonna let the 4/4 get out. Alright, so the board is kind of managed. Yeah, HIRAMAX has used a lot of cards to do it, and he's drawn a lot more than his opponent. Currently 13 versus his opponent's 18. And he has to start getting down his big legendaries, I would think. I think it would be safe to throw Prince Gallywix down here shortly. Hopefully we see it the next few turns. SI7 agent might be helpful here if he wants to combo it with the Farseer. Doesn't really kill anything super useful on the board though. Lotheb and maybe an SI7 agent just on the first half of the Harvest Golem? Oh, the Totem, okay. So hopefully we'll see Prince Gallywix. He might be setting up a Kel'Thuzad turn, to be honest. Or Oilinub is doing his own Kel'Thuzad turn. And we get Nat Pagel, so some extra card draw. And those minions just come back to life. And, ooh, okay, a Sap. So we could do Sap, Kel'Thuzad, and then trade in his SI7 agent into the Shredder. That might be what we see. Wow, some fun drops. Micro Machine. That might get kind of big considering HIRAMAX won't be able to answer it for a few turns. Micro Machine, hopefully we'll get up to...
Hey pal, trade Prince Gallywix.
Oh, here. Okay, so the Prince Gallywix is going to come down. And the one spell that Oilinub does have is Reincarnate, and he doesn't necessarily need to use it. And Nat Pagel actually drew a card. He has a 50% chance to draw a card at the start of your turn, so Earthshock's going to come down, but it's not going to be able to be used with Kel'Thuzad, so
Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark.
So Reincarnate's going to get passed over to HIRAMAX. But it looks like he's just going to summon...
Soldiers of the cold dark, obey the cold.
Why did he do that? Did he think that it would summon another one? It doesn't have a death rattle effect. Oh wow, okay, I see. It did summon another one. We just had to wait for the... Wow, he knows exactly what he's doing. Oilinub the Pro at this Reincarnate deck. Now,
I have no
Sylvanas
time
does
for
come in
games.
hand, and Sylvanas has to get kind of lucky here. So he might just trade in his Prince Gallywix. Now do a reincarnate, and then hopefully he'll steal something. Go for the Kel'Thuzad, and he gets one! Okay,
I
okay.
have no time
Now
for
we have a
games.
game. This is good, this is good. And that means that he's gonna get 2 Sylvanas, right? Wow, yeah. Wow. This game.
I have no time for games.
Oh my god. Okay. Alright, that works. So Nat Pagel's still on the board for Olinub. And here we go. The board is full and lethal is almost presented. He is 2 damage off lethal. Oh, actually yeah, he's 2 damage off. Okay. Earthshock should go on to something, just there's so many juicy targets to Earthshock. So HIRAMAX is gonna have to do a lot of board clearing. And notice how we got the micro machine up to 5 attacks, so we're happy about that. Yeah, that will allow Sylvanas to trade into the micro machine and steal something, so that might not be the best plan. Once Sylvanas does go down, steals the Kel'Thuzad. And wow, are we gonna have a lot of minions on board or what? Okay, looks like HIRAMAX can live with 1 life. The Shredder will do 4, and he can heal himself up to 5, but 2 Nat Pagels. Okay. Now, I have listened to a few professional Hearthstone players actually theorize about how Shredder is bugged and it will summon the same consecutive minion several times and not a random minion, and we kind of see that here. 2 Nat Pagels is extremely low probability, but yet we do see it. The probability of it would be
I have no time.
near the 1%. And now we have an insane board for HIRAMAX and a very abysmal board for Olinub. He's getting probably tons of card draw potential, but what is the Earthshock? There's just a lot of juicy targets. He could hex something, but this is just too insane. HIRAMAX hopefully pulls this one out. This game is just destined to go the limits. The board is full of nice, insane, juicy minions. So he's probably going to sacrifice some of the weaker minions into the Sludge Belcher just to allow him to play other big minions. He sadly doesn't have any taunts or heals. So we can almost guarantee he doesn't have lethal, but he's going to get close. But he does have to trade in. Does he trade those Nat Pagels, maybe? I think it would be smart. Get rid of those things. Okay, so the board was cleared. And the only thing that he was able to do is weapon up an attack, considering his board is full. And then another Sludge Belcher comes down, so we're probably going to see that again. Now, how does he wants to maybe Earthshock one of the healthy Kel'Thuzad and then maybe hex the other one? I'm not sure. So he's gonna hex the healthy one.
Where's my cat?
That's gonna give spells over to HIRAMAX, so this is getting a little bit crazy. Now, theoretically, HIRAMAX could get the Kel'Thuzad back, considering a second Kel'Thuzad is on the field. Yeah, the board is full, so he does not get that luxury. And can he just get lethal right here? Looks like he's gonna try to get it. I'm not gonna count. We're gonna let him do the dirty work. It looks like he did get it. Bravo to him. He wins with 5 life. It's Alinub versus HIRAMAX. The game is fairly progressed. We had a bit technical difficulties. But as far as this game goes, Alinub is running a mech mage, which is running fairly dry against HIRAMAX's control warrior that just got... Yeah, so he did a slight misplay there. He could have procced his... Oh, wow. Is that like the misplay of the century? Wow, okay, so HIRAMAX is almost just throwing this game. Okay, wow. So he did not consider the secret and just kind of threw that out there, and he's gonna have to probably just lose this game because of that, unless he top decks a brawl. And even if he does top deck the brawl, he needs the Kel'Thuzad to die in it, which should be fairly likely. Sylvanas does steal the Snow Chugger, so that'll be nice, but still not exactly what he needed. So he does not get what he needed, and he almost just needs to concede. He did not play into the mirror entity well at all. He had an armor smith to be able to play with it, but he just chose not to play it. And yeah, he's going to concede. Alinub wins with 10 life. This is game 3 against these guys. It's currently tied up 1-1. HIRAMAX had a nice lead last game, but he kind of threw his lead up by throwing a Kel'Thuzad onto the board and not playing around the mirror entity where the mage got, and the mage just kind of snowballed the game after getting a nice Kel'Thuzad. And as far as this game goes, Alinub is sporting a Must for Battle style Paladin against HIRAMAX's Demon Warlock, probably. HIRAMAX looks like he's gonna go for Mistress of Pain to start. And that might get answered here shortly. Muster for Battle, probably not the best. So I would guess that he might do a coin Hammer of, or Sword True Silver Champion next turn. But so far the Mistress Pain is gonna live. He might do a life tap just to get the extra heal. Nice, so he's gonna go down to 28, then back up to 29. And True Silver Champion is probably gonna answer that right here. HIRAMAX is going to be able to go up to 30 life, but that's not almost too relevant. I'll end up getting HIRAMAX getting a nice top deck there with the life tap. That'll also use him to force to use the second charge of True Silver Champion. Muster for Battle is potentially the next play. HIRAMAX has answers for it in the Hellfire, but probably not willing to throw that out just yet. Ooh, okay, so HIRAMAX is running a Abusive Sergeant and also a Big Game Hunter, so those combo fairly well together, actually very well. So we might just see the Big Game Hunter combo come out right here on this build depth. That would be quite efficient. That would get 2 minions developed for HIRAMAX while denying 1 minion from Alinub, a fairly large minion to be honest. And that would allow him to even the life tap. They would have extra mana for that. So he's gonna go for it, looks like. Life tap, Abusive Sergeant. Oh, never mind. We're sad. So this Void Caller can summon both Draxus and Mal'Ganis. And it looks like we're gonna get Draxus. So not the one that you necessarily wanted, but it is good in this situation because the Big Game Hunter is in the hand for Alinub. So if Mal'Ganis one that came out, obviously, you know, Mal'Ganis would have got Big Game Hunter and we're sad. But Drax is gonna be able to stay on the board with one health or one attack and 15 health. HIRAMAX, does he maybe go for a Argus? Argus would be really good here. I think that'd be a smart play.
From the void I come.
Get in there and fight!
Oh, he goes with an Abusive Sergeant and a Void Caller. That'll allow him to trade it basically in the same way that Argus would have, and has potential to get out his Mal'Ganis, even though it will get Big Game Hunter, but
Reporting for duty.
not a big deal just yet.
Arms, men!
So, a nice Quartermaster coming out, and that how will that trade? I'm curious. Looks like he's gonna just trade into Draxus. And a Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame can be used here to pretty much clear the board, and then summon your Mal'Ganis. That will make Draxus less useful, or more useful. Power Overwhelming. Okay. There goes the Shadow Flame. Nice. Really smooth turn. Now, looks like he's gonna tap. Now, Olinub looks like he kind of wants to silence, but yet he has the Big Game Hunter. So hopefully he does not silence and he just kills the Void Caller so he can Big Game Hunter down the Draxus. I mean Mal'Ganis.
Reporting for duty.
Muster for battle with the second Quartermaster being used. So that's all the wombo combo from the Shaman, or I mean from the Paladin side. Lotheb would be really nice, but beyond that, does he just do Argus? Argus would be really fun.
My shield for Argus!
Now, Silence is a little bit more tempting to use onto that Void Caller, considering it's taunted now with the extra attack. So Silence, maybe, or is just gonna kill it and then prepare to kill Mal'Ganis. I think that's a nice play. And there we go. I'll end up playing this really solidly by playing that out. Sludge Belcher's going to come down just to protect his Big Game Hunter from any potential attacks. Now HIRAMAX, what can he develop? He can develop a Sylvanas or Dr. Boom. Void Caller works great too, probably assisted by those previous mentioned minions. Looks like he wants to do a Power Overwhelming and trade away into this Sludge Belcher. And the Dr. Boom does come down, nice. And that leaves Olinub without any solid answers, except for his own Dr. Boom, which is obviously great. And that's what it looks like he's choosing to do, along with the shielded mini-bot to potentially absorb a lot of the damage from the boom bots. Now HIRAMAX does have the BGH to get rid of the Dr. Boom, but will he trade first? It's like no. Oh, we disconnected, hold on. We'll jump right back into the game. No worries, I know a black screen, but hold on just real fast. There we go. Now we just need to load back in. We got HIRAMAX versus Olinub. They're in their deciding match of Game 3. Olinub. And HIRAMAX. There we go. So looks like the BGH is still alive, and looks like Alinub is just kind of trying to get lethal. And against a Warlock that's decent, but they probably have plenty of taunts to deal with it. Implosion, how lucky does Implosion get? And perfect luck. Wow, nice. Mighty Mage or whatever it's called, a Mini Mage? Yeah, Mini Mage. Okay, that potentially could be, that's gonna give him an extra, maybe that doesn't work on healing. Nice Boombot trade.
I have no time for games.
Now Savant's able to be played. And looks like Alinub is 1 damage off lethal. He does not quite get it. He could draw for it, but I don't know what draws in the Paladin deck would actually give you some direct damage. But HIRAMAX obviously has lethal on board.
Let me think.
Lay of Hands would make him maybe survive, but we can count the damage here. So we have 5, 9, that's gonna be 16, and that's 19. So he still does have lethal. HIRAMAX needs to taunt or heal, but he can't do that. It looks like he's just gonna trade his Mini Mage. But that, also he's gonna go up to 20, so oh, he gets an Abusive Sergeant, but that doesn't help him. He can't really put it on the board. He needs to kill, okay, so he can kill 1 imp, allows Abusive Sergeant to buff another imp, and so he does have lethal if he plays this out correctly. Yep, he does.
Well played.
And he should have lethal right there.
Get in there and fight, maggot.
So HIRAMAX is gonna win with 1 life, so breaking the life total. And he won the previous game with 5 life, so he wins this series with a total of 6 life altogether. Bravo to him. We're into game number 1 against HIRAMAX versus Yodi. Both of these guys have fought for us before. Yodi has gotten on this nice win streak of 4, but he wasn't able to quite pull out the win of the night. He was up against some great contestants that night, and the other contestants got win streaks of 5 or greater. So Yodi is a solid player. Hopefully he can pull something great out, and so is HIRAMAX. We've seen some really interesting decks from HIRAMAX into that strange rogue with the Kel'Thuzad and the Trade Prince Gallywix. But we've also seen some huge misplays from HIRAMAX that almost cost him the game last time, where he did not play into a Mirror Entity and just threw a Kel'Thuzad onto the field, and the Mirror Entity got copied and obviously was a big problem. But looks like this is a mirror match versus an oil rogue. Nice little start from both of these. Yodi did attack, considering he realized that he doesn't have any good attacks or good turns next turn, so he's just gonna attack again and weapon up. Now HIRAMAX looks to be able to develop maybe a naked. Oh, yeah. Okay, so he's gonna go with the
Pay attention, class.
Violet Teacher, and he has plenty of spells to actually activate whatever he needs to off that. Yodi does have a sap, but maybe not the best sap target, but there's not too much else that's better in a rogue. We have to admire how golden both these players' portraits are while we wait for them to figure out what they need to do this turn. My personal favorite portrait of the Golden Heroes is Warrior, but Rogue is also very, very stylish. The daggers bring a nice edge to how she actually works in this golden way.
So many options.
Now, as far as options beyond Yodi, he could sap. That's not the best, like we mentioned before. He could deadly poison, but that's, I don't know what he would attack. He might just attack the Violet Teacher twice, but that means that he would take 9 damage from her. while she does summon several minions, I might guess that HIRAMAX might just do a prep. Okay. So Yodi's not going to do anything whatsoever this turn. Beyond just setting up the dagger for next turn, so he does not want to take the 9 damage to face. Now, looks like HIRAMAX is just going to cycle the Fan of Knives.
I'm ready to learn.
And he gets another prep. So that means that he has all free manas in his, or free spells in his hand except for the Abyss. So that will almost guarantee to come out free with a prep. Yodi looks like he wants to develop maybe an Azure Drake, would be solid. That's probably going to die to an Abyss, but we'll let the boys make that decision when the time comes. Looks like he's gonna go with the Blade Flurry. He has 2 of them in his hand, so not too worried about using them right here. And a Shiv. Shiv is not a standard card run in Oil Rogue, but it is quite useful. Now HIRAMAX needs to combo that first, so he might just do a... Okay, so he's gonna do a prep of this. And that gives the minion advantage over to HIRAMAX, even though it's not too relevant in a rogue matchup, but still nice to have board control. Thanos is gonna come down.
We hunger for vengeance.
And they both trade Abysses with their Azure Drake, so Azure Drake is just absorbing Abysses and cycling for each master. Kel'Thuzad, so this is HIRAMAX's funky Trade Prince and Kel'Thuzad deck that hopefully we'll get to see some nice action, and Yodi might be pretty surprised when he does see this actually come out. He's gonna cycle. Ooh, does he prep sprint right here? So both players get a prep sprint opportunity right here if they want to. But it looks like HIRAMAX is gonna value the SI7 agent a little bit higher and force his opponent to deal with it. Yodi's running a double sprint. Sometimes sprint isn't run twice, you just maybe run it once. Looks like the backstab probably with a hero attack and then another weapon up. Oh, he's gonna just do Fan of Knives, that's nice and slick. And he cycles that Fan of Knives to get another Fan of Knives, so he might be upset about that, but not a big deal. Now, this Sledge Belcher might set up a nice Kel'Thuzad turn. Kel'Thuzad could potentially just get sapped, but maybe he'll be able to resummon Sledge Belcher in the process. Yodi's going with an Azure Drake, so that's a rather interesting card to be playing right now. Looks like an Abyss will go down maybe with a hero attack from Yodi. Now, how does HIRAMAX actually deal with this Azure Drake? I'm not quite sure. You might have to deal with it with the painful way by actually trading in a lot of minions into it, which is probably not very fun. To start, he might just throw down a lot of little minions and then hopefully trade them into next turn. Hopefully the Azure Drake just eats his slime and not eat anything else. And it looks like that's what he's doing, he's prepping up for a Kel'Thuzad turn. And Yodi has a Mountain Giant, so both these guys running a really fun deck. Let's see if the Mountain Giant actually gets played. I would say it's safe to play it now.
So many options.
Yeah, looks like he's looks like he's going with the Mountain Giant, and beyond that, he might just maybe cycle a Fan of Knives, considering there's a lot of minions on board. but they won't actually kill anything. He will have... I'm not sure what he'll do with that 3 mana. It's a rather strange 3 mana. He might just sit on it. He can attack with his dagger to re-dagger, so he might just cycle with Phantom Knives. He's already seen one, but oh, he goes for a sap, okay. I wouldn't disagree with that, but that means that HIRAMAX won't get as much value from his Kel'Thuzad as he would have liked. So we're kind of upset about that. Trade Prince Scallywooks. Now, HIRAMAX can't do a backstab now, considering the Drake is damaged a little bit. He might just try to get a... go for a sprint, maybe into hopefully getting an Abyss. That would almost overdraw him if he didn't backstab first.
I wonder.
Might just do a prep sprint, that would definitely not overdraw him. Looks like that's what we're gonna see. Hopefully he gets an Abyss out of this. Oh, he gets a big game hunter. That's almost even better. So that means that he can clear this whole board while leaving his big game hunter onto the board to challenge whatever else comes out from Yodi. And hopefully we see that. That's a nice smooth play.
I've got the beast in my sight.
That'll keep his backstab in hand and also allow him to set up maybe a Kel'Thuzad turn with his big game hunter as the value target. And Yodi is running a Dr. Boom, so standard card in almost every deck. Ooh, and Phantom Knives. Oh, he's just gonna... dang it. We're not gonna see any Kel'Thuzad value. So HIRAMAX's minions are just getting denied left and right. And he is not running a huge burst combo rogue considering he has all these minions, so he's not able to capitalize on how Yodi is playing this and getting himself down to only 13 life. Sylvanas is a great draw to actually get down.
I have no time for games.
Oh, okay. That's a rather good hit, I would say. Now, does he backs? Okay, so he's gonna go for a backstab onto the Boombot
I'm ready to
just to get an extra target, and it hits his face for 4. That hurts, but that might be what he wanted to keep his other minions quite healthy. Beyond the Sylvanas, he might have wanted just to kill the Sylvanas. And Yodi gets a Clockwork Gnome, so that is a kind of a hand warlock card in this sense. And we've seen Twilight Drakes
So many
and Mountain Giants, so that does kind of fit the theme quite nicely. He's going to start with a backstab and maybe backstab his own guy to trade it into the Sylvanas so that he doesn't actually lose anything. That would be a smart play. That's definitely like a next level play that you wouldn't really think of.
So many options.
Looks like he's going to go with a Tinker Sharpsword Oil that's not going to be comboed by anything. Oh, he's just gonna go for a Blade Flurry and kill his opponent's stuff, so that means that HIRAMAX is not getting any value from the Kel'Thuzad anytime soon. So he's fairly sad about that. Yodi does run out of time, but he's able to get his full combo off of what exactly cards he wanted to play. And he gets a Phantom Knives to answer the juiced up Clockwork Gnome. And beyond that, hopefully he plays a trade from Scallywooks, considering his opponent is rather low on cards and almost forced to sprint. And that's not what he chooses to do, so we're kind of sad. But we'll survive. So Trade Prince Scallywooks has yet to get value in this game. We saw it get a lot of value in the previous game. And maybe that Healbot was rather safe, considering Yodi just did get a Tinker Sharpsword oil. And finally, hopefully we'll finally get to see the Kel'Thuzad to come down on the field and get some value by resummoning the anti-kill bot. Yeah, we're gonna finally see it. This is nice.
Soldiers of the cold dark.
Now, Yodi has already used one sprint and used it onto a Shredder previously. Now, hopefully he doesn't get the second one so he can get some nice Kel'Thuzad plays. He gets his own Edwin Van Cleef, but that's not too useful just yet. He gets a Mountain Giant and a Twilight Drake and a Clockwork Gnome, so this is like Hand Warlock style for sure. Looks like he's just gonna play the Edwin as a 4/4. Yet Yodi can kill it with an SI7 agent and just resummon his tradable minions. Beyond that, hopefully, I hope that we get to see maybe a big Edwin come out. That'd be nice. So we just traded his Kel'Thuzad into the Edwin, so that's kind of sad. I would like him to keep it a little bit more healthy and just trade his anti-killbot and maybe use an SI7 agent, but looks like he wants to play this a little bit more control-y. He's probably counting on the Lothep blocking out any spells and hopefully keeping his Kel'Thuzad alive. It looks like Yodi is just going to swarm the board with a whole bunch of cards, or minions at least, and this means that the value from Kel'Thuzad is going to be real. We're probably going to see almost a full trade here from everything that HIRAMAX has.
I wonder.
And if he trades that way, that means that... Okay, that's a rather interesting way to trade it. Trade Prince Gallywix Folly comes down, and that's going to be a lot of fun against a rogue. You probably will get some nice juicy spells, and considering you're a rogue yourself. Ooh, wow, and he gets... Okay, we need to remember what this name of the card is. Let's take a look. Stone Splintered Frog will be nice considering any spells that come down will also buff the Trog. And now he gets a nice Edwin out. Not too big, but it's enough. And Yodi is just... He's cycled so much that he's just kind of SOL at this point. The board is huge for HIRAMAX. And anything that he plays as far as minions and as far as spells will just get answered by the Trade Prince and by the Kel'Thuzad that's on board. So it's like we're gonna start with a Deadly Poison, and he might have just tried to get Doomsayer off that. And if he doesn't get Doomsayer, it's just kind of sad. So HIRAMAX owns 19 life. We're going to game number 2 in this best of 3. And this is game 2 against these guys. HIRAMAX is currently up by 1 win streak and 1 game in particular in this small best of 3. Yodi is a previous win streaker himself. He got up to 4 win streaks before he was defeated and someone else actually won the night. So he's back here to hopefully take that pride back. And HIRAMAX is running a control warrior against the exact same rogue deck that was played earlier. Now this rogue deck is not standard. It has Mountain Giants, it has Azure Drakes, and Clockwork Gnomes, so it's more of a hand rogue. I think is the best way to describe it. And HIRAMAX does have a nice answer. He has the Harrison Jones for any weapons that come out, and generally warriors are just favored against rogues. So hopefully HIRAMAX can pull this out and get us on a nice 2 win streak, but Yodi is definitely worthy of the challenge. And looks like he recognizes that he has no turn 3 or turn 4 play, so he's just going to attack and hopefully weapon up next turn. Now HIRAMAX looks like he's just going to armor up, absorb more damage from the Clockwork Gnome. So fairly slow starts from both players, not doing much at all. Finally, Cruel Taskmaster will answer the Clockwork Gnome that's done a lot of damage to HIRAMAX's face. And now hopefully he'll be able to start building up his armor so the shield slams will be useful when the time actually comes. Now for Yodi's development, he could develop a lot of solid stuff. I hope that he goes for like an Edwin. So yeah, it looks like we're going to see a coin Edwin, which is going to be really slick. It's going to be a 6/6.
The Brotherhood shall prevail.
And HIRAMAX is going to have trouble taking care of this unless he gets a shield block right here. Two shield slams will be able to answer, but really clunky. And we have to note that this deck does run Dr. Boom. Ooh, he's going to go with a silence. That's nice. Nice answer. And then the armor up just to build his armor, considering he has 2 shield slams. The Phantom Knives is probably going to kill the little owl. Or he might just go with an Azure Drake and let the owl do the cleaning up. That's what he does, so he's just going to weapon up and start working down the armor and save the Azure Drake for a little bit later. Now Dustbite is nice here, but he might want to build up his armor, but Dustbite is kind of necessary to deal with the minion on board. Sludge Belcher is also nice, but that doesn't allow him to armor up. Looks like he's just going to go with this so it allows him to keep armoring up so he can eventually get up to the maybe an 8 armor just to answer any giants or Dr. Booms that come out. That's probably what he's thinking here. Sludge Belcher can be used anytime, so next turn you know, it's nice to see it. Twilight Drake does come down with 8 health, and we did see an owl earlier, so Owl's not going to be able to help too much here. So I'm guessing oh, he's gonna go with an execute. That works. And maybe a Sludge Belcher after that. Oh, okay, that works even better. Pilot Shredder with an armor up. He doesn't necessarily need the Sludge Belcher just yet. Dr. Boom on turn 7 for Yodi. Kinda scary. Now HIRAMAX will have problems, and he gets a Cruel Task. The Cruel Task can get the weapon or the attack up from the Shredder up to 6, but not quite enough. So he has a rather awkward play here. His armor cannot go past 5, so he's either 1 damage from killing it with the Cruel Task, or he's 2 damage from killing it with the Shield Slam. He's gonna see what he gets to start with. And that's a decent drop. That'll trade well into the Boombots, maybe absorb a couple hits or 2. He's going to use 1 Shield Slam here, just to try to keep momentum on this. And Yodi is looking like he could develop maybe another Twilight Drake that could be another headache for HIRAMAX to deal with. Beyond the Twilight Drake, what else could he... Looks like he wants to do an Azure Drake just for the cycle. Juice up his Twilight Drake a little bit more. Or he could just go with the Twilight Drake. You know, either Drake, very viable. I personally might just go with the Twilight Drake, considering your Boombots will trade very well with the board. But the Azure Drake is probably just going to straight up die to the board. Yeah, he might want the spell damage for something. Not necessarily anything useful right now, but in theory you could use the spell damage. So he goes with the Twilight Drake along with the Tinkers. That's going to allow Boombox to trade pretty well with the board. And does he use his weapon to actually finish the dude off? Maybe, yeah, it looks like he's thinking about it and he definitely goes for it. Ragnaros is a nice, sexy turn here. Could get lucky with a 50-50. Nothing wrong with having a little RNG fun.
That belongs in a museum.
Harrison Jones is going to clean out the oiled up weapon. And maybe mind control tech is nice here? Considering against a rogue, you'll probably never get to actually use it for its full value. And as it stands, we can take a guess that the Twilight Drake will probably trade into Harrison Jones, and that will leave it at 3 health, so he's trying to think about the best way to deal with that, and the mind control tech is a nice answer to actually deal with that. So I vote that he throws that down, and it looks like he agrees with me. And looks like the armor plating will deny our previous plan of the... Oh wow, he's just gonna juice up everything, go to face, and do a nice blade flurry. Okay then, so HIRAMAX is kind of left dry. So hopefully we get to see a Ragnaros, even though the Ragnaros necessarily won't kill it. I vote we see it anyway. We could do a Ragnaros and a Cruel Task just to get the 50-50, and that looks like it's his best bet. Now we just played that he actually fulfills that. Sometimes you just gotta get lucky, and that's the best way to play. It looks like he's gonna go for it. And he does get lucky, nice! So that allows HIRAMAX to hopefully live. Yodi does have still some options. He could start card drawing with either the Azure Drake or the Sprint, so he has plenty of ways to get back into this. And he gets a Mountain Giant, not necessarily useful just yet, it's a little bit too expensive. He's probably wanting to do a prep sprint before he plays that, or maybe even just a dry sprint next turn to get his Mountain Giant down to 3 health, or 3 mana. And the sap's gonna come down, okay. You know, I'm guessing the Bomb Lubber is gonna come down to answer the Twilight Drake. Looks like the Deadly Poison is gonna answer the Cruel Taskmaster. Ooh, and a Shield Maiden is also very nice, just to develop minions for the potential of getting a Knife Kel'Thuzad turn. We've already seen both Blade Flurries, we've probably seen several Fan of Knives. That's not necessarily something that I would count, but both Blade Flurries have been used. So swarming the board here is rather smart. And a Sprint's gonna come down. I don't know what necessarily he's looking for, he's probably just trying to get some card draw, so eventually his Mountain Giant can be played. And it gets down to 6 mana, so we might just see an attack, kill the Bomb Lubber, and then weapon up, and then pass your turn over. That would reduce on potential Kel'Thuzad value.
So many options.
And this is going to start us out. Now, does he attack to kill the Bomb Lubber? Looks like he does. And hopefully that will set him with a nice... Ooh, now is it Ragnaros time? Yeah, it looks like Ragnaros time. This allows him to weapon up his, or armor up as well, considering he still has 1 Shield Slam. There we go, Clockwork Gnome. Now, he does have 2 anti-kill bots. That would get him up to like 24 life. But he still doesn't have a nice clean way to deal with this Ragnaros. Looks like he's just gonna swarm the board rather than throwing down the Mountain Giant that might just get eaten up by the Ragnaros. And maybe it's just Kel'Thuzad's turn just to make sure that none of his stuff dies. Or he's gonna look like he's gonna set up a Sludge Belcher just to get another minion potential trading value. He's gonna Shield Slam. Probably not the best bet. Hopefully he saves the Shield Slam for the Mountain Giant. Yeah, it looks like he does. That's smart. Phantom Knives is gonna do some work here with the Thalnos on board. Or maybe he opts out of doing the Phantom Knives and just does the Mountain Giant, but that might just be a little bit too dangerous. So he trades that in just to kind of see what he gets. That will reduce his Mountain Giant down to 7. Looks like he really wants to play it. Maybe he does the Phantom Knives next and then trades his Thalnos. That'll kill the first half of the Sludge Belcher. Oh, even a prep. Okay. So he's trying to save his one to see exactly what comes out of his deck. He gets another Azure Drake. Looks like he just wants to use the Rusty Horn to protect his Thalnos. Oh no. Okay, so he's gonna use the Rusty Horn to protect. Oh, we just disconnected. Hold on. No commercial break. We're just gonna jump right back into the game. No worries.
Busy night.
There we go. Our HIRAMAX is our current tree topper, so we're gonna follow him first. Followed by Yodi, so HIRAMAX, there you are, buddy. And then Yodi. Okay, so looks like some huge legendaries, and looks like he's 1 damage off lethal. So Yodi has to get some good plays here. Azure Drake is a good start. The Mountain Giant is also fairly solid. Probably not very helpful right now. Now, he has a chance just to win the game here. Actually, Grom will just kill him. Never mind. Good job, Yodi. Thanks to you for playing, and we are going to... That is HIRAMAX, who wins with 15 life. And this is in this best of 3, that is his second win, so HIRAMAX wins the series overall.